Clark County Today is presented by Connell Real Estate. Hire an agent, get a team. Learn more by visiting connellrealestate.com.
Hey everyone, Chris Brown here with your ClarkCountyToday.com video update for Wednesday, December the 30th. Well, Clark County Public Health reported 2 more deaths from COVID-19, first in a week, bringing the pandemic total to 139 deaths, with 11 of those still unconfirmed. 69 new cases were reported, with active cases dipping again to 647. Hospitalizations ticked up slightly for the second day in a row, with 52 confirmed and 10 suspected cases, making up just under 10% of available bed space. Today, Washington Governor Jay Inslee announced a 1-week extension of restrictions on public gatherings, indoor dining, and other businesses. The stay home, stay healthy order was originally set to expire January 4th, but will now be extended through the 11th. In a brief statement, the governor said, "We understand the profound impact COVID is having on our healthcare systems, families, and businesses," but added that if Washingtonians continue to do the right thing, we'll be able to make it to the other side of this pandemic together. Speaking of delays, a ban on plastic grocery bags set to start the first of the year has been pushed back until at least the end of January, and the legislature may choose to delay it longer. That ban, which was approved by this year's state legislature, applies to single-use plastic bags and implements an 8-cent per bag fee on retailer-supplied paper or plastic bags. That fee is collected by retailers to offset the cost of supplying costlier bagging options. The pandemic, however, has made it difficult for retailers to get the bags that they're supposed to have. Earlier on, reusable cloth bags were thought to potentially be a way for the virus to spread, but newer research now says that's unlikely. The state's Department of Ecology says once the ban does go into effect, retailers caught using single-use bags will be warned initially, but could face up to a fine of $200 a day once enforcement begins later in the year. Produce bags, small paper bags, and bags used for newspapers and dry cleaning will not be included in the ban. For more details, read the story at ClarkCountyToday.com. Well, Camas resident Sarah Bang spent nearly 40 years in the credit union industry, working at all levels of the business until her retirement in 2017. But a vacancy on the National Credit Union Administration Board earlier in the year caught her attention. And in December, she was picked to be the senior policy advisor for Kyle Hauptman, the vice chairman of the NCUA.
I want to help. And if I figure if I work hard enough and long enough, I'll get it. And that certainly happened. This job, you know, I'm so grateful to have been tapped for this job, and I realize it's a huge honor, and I don't want to do anything less than a perfect job for these people. And like I said, for the industry and and again, it sounds so corny, but I really want to do a good job for America.
Locally, Sarah is known for her artwork, her love of music, and for supporting the Children's Miracle Network. You can read more about her next chapter over at ClarkCountyToday.com. The Community Foundation of Southwest Washington has just a couple more days left to receive matching funds from Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, as well as the Ed and Dolly Lynch Foundation that will go towards helping groups adversely affected by the pandemic. Bezos is matching up to $25 million through the All In Washington organization. The foundation has already given out over $5 million, with close to $3.5 million of that going to organizations right here in Clark County. These grants go to help numerous causes, chief among them people without health insurance, communities of color, the elderly, families with children, and the economically vulnerable. Everyone from churches to hospitals to advocacy groups to youth programs and education foundations have received money. You can find out more about how to help over at ClarkCountyToday.com. Well, with no Pacific Coast Wrestling Championships this year, Paul Valencia checked in with the man who came up with the idea to bring some of the best wrestlers from the western states here to Vancouver.
Normally this time each year, the high school wrestling community is welcoming athletes from all over the region at the Pacific Coast Championships. In its heyday, wrestlers from 7 western states showed up to Evergreen High School to compete in a Clark County Classic. Of course, just like everything else in 2020, the event has been canceled this year. So we took the time to talk to the person who came up with the plan for Pac Coast. Longtime Evergreen Public Schools coach and athletic coordinator Pat King is now retired, living in Issaquah. But he still follows high school wrestling and is proud that he and his crew at Evergreen High School started this special event. King wanted local wrestlers to be able to face the best in the West at least once a year. By the way, the pictures we are showing you in this report are of wrestlers at the Clark County Championships last January, but they also won titles at Pac Coast last December. The tournament is still hosted by Evergreen, but last year it took place at Mountain View High School. King said he is hoping for a successful return for Pac Coast next year, along with all the other traditional gatherings associated with sports.
Well, thank you for that, Paul. This will be the final video update for 2020, and what a year it has been. The coronavirus pandemic dominated most of the year's news, closing businesses and schools. Phrases like social distancing and mask up entered our lexicon in ways we never anticipated. When it wasn't the virus keeping us indoors, it was thick smoke from dozens of wildfires that burned thousands of acres and hundreds of homes all over the region. The Black Lives Matter movement came to our area in June and July, then flared up again following the officer-involved shooting of Kevin Peterson in November. Protests over lockdowns and mask mandates also dominated the headlines. On September 29th, Clark County Today completed its fourth year of bringing local news to the area. In addition to those unprecedented stories, we've experienced unprecedented growth, both in web traffic and engagement on Facebook and our other social media platforms. As we do every year, we have compiled a list of stories we published in the past 12 months as a glimpse of the year in review. Be sure to watch for that coming Friday at clarkcountytoday.com. In addition to the hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of words we've written to bring you the stories of what's happening in and around Clark County, we've captured more video than ever before. In a truly historic year, we've worked hard to bring you stories of hope and triumph, as well as covering breaking news and events from around the area. Last March, we launched a three-part documentary series looking at the ongoing strife between the Yacolt Mountain Quarry and the neighbors who live nearby. We chronicled the ways in which golf courses, Christmas tree farms, pumpkin patches, schools, and so many other institutions worked to adjust to the pandemic. We showed the stories of how our community rallied around healthcare workers as the virus spread. We missed out on parades and gatherings over the summer, but brought you stories of drive-through graduations, parades supporting local police, student-led protests, and even a controversial mass worship gathering at the Vancouver waterfront. We've heard from small businesses impacted by the pandemic, kept you up to date on the latest numbers, dug beyond the data, and heard from people impacted by the wildfires that sent evacuees into Clark County seeking shelter. It was a year no one saw coming, but we all watched happening. To see a visual recap of the year in news for Clark County, head to our YouTube channel. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss when new amazing stories are posted. And from all of us at Clark County Today, thank you for making us a part of your lives. We look forward to many more years of telling your stories, being part of the community, and following through on our promise of being your news source with integrity, no agenda, and no subscription. From all of us to all of you, thank you for watching. Have a safe and happy new year. We'll see you again in 2021.